we try to discount wins for starting pitchers in baseball. I'm not going to let you do that.
You do, I don't.
With softball.
Wins still matter to me, but...
Well, that's a debate for some other time. But Mary Haff has won 46 games the last 2 years, 20 of them this season for the Razorback softball team that is getting set to take on Texas. And then Thursday's beginning of the Super Regional. Mary, we appreciate your time. I know it's a really busy day. It sounds like you guys just got off the field. You were practicing this morning, got another one later today?
Yeah, we got a few team practices today. Just feeling it out, getting the blood pumping. So just feeling good for Texas this weekend.
Yeah, you've been a Razorback for 5 years now. You're not a native Arkansan, but you're accepted as one now if you've been a Razorback for that long. Can you put into words like what it means? Playing in a super regional is one thing. You've done this. You've played in a super regional before. Does it feel different that it is the team that everybody focuses so much hatred on in the Texas Longhorns?
Yeah, I think it just means more when it's a rival, playing in Arkansas. I've learned quickly that Texas is one of our biggest rivals, especially after this year. So the fact that we get to play Texas on our home field, I couldn't ask for a better matchup for my last year, and it's going to be a great game for the fans.
It was going to be a great game for the fans. It's going to be a great game for you, a great series for your program too. You guys have had the Super Regional in Fayetteville before. What does it mean to the program to make it 2 years in a row that you get this Super Regional? Because we can never take this kind of thing for granted. I feel maybe sometimes we might take big events for granted, but you can't take a Super Regional at home for granted. And your fan base is just jazzed up about this.
Yeah, it means a lot. We've done our best to change the, tradition of Arkansas softball into a winning program. So we're, getting a tradition going here by hosting Supers, and it means the world to this team. And there's not a team that's more deserving than this one. So many hardworking girls, the coaches, the extra hours that we put in. We deserve all of this, and we're all of us seniors are happy to go out with a bang, hopefully on our home field, and hoping that the tradition keeps going even after we leave.
Help me with this. I don't know if you can call it a tradition yet with the squirrel. What is the situation with the squirrel? Because baseball's tried to make something out of the raccoon. I don't know if it's worked so well because they lost the game where the raccoon made the big appearance. What does the squirrel mean to your team, and what do you guys do with it?
We were kind of in a slump before the inning that the squirrel ran out, and of course we saw all of the raccoon stuff with baseball, so we're like, oh, this is like, the softball version of the baseball raccoon. So it was just something like to keep the mood light between us, and it's been working. We have a little squirrel that we keep with us in the dugout, like a little toy that we have. So it's just something to keep the mood light, and it's been working for us, and it's just something that we all can laugh about.
Does the squirrel have a name, or is it just squirrel?
I think we just call it the rally squirrel. I mean, it doesn't have a name. It's just like the rally raccoon. We just call it the rally squirrel.
Hey, as long as it gets the job done, it doesn't really need a name there, Mary. But having accomplished so much in your career, I mean, just reading through your bio right now at ArkansasRazorbacks.com, you've won, I think, every award a starting pitcher in the SEC or in college softball can. What would you say is some of the highlight moments of your career and of an award-winning career for that?
There's so many moments. Obviously coming in my freshman year, being able to make an immediate impact. I just feel like, obviously going and hosting a regional for the first time was just so monumental. And, of course, hosting a super and then getting to host a super again. It's just, the hard times make the good times even better. And for us seniors, like Hannah McEwen, Lenny Malkin, we were here when it was pretty rough. So the fact that we were able to see a full circle moment and just how much this program's progressed since our freshman year, it's just the whole journey has been so rewarding for all of us. And it's just, I can't pinpoint a single moment. I think this weekend has the potential to be one of those moments, making it to the World Series for the first time. But, there's just too many to name, SEC champs, SEC tournament champs. There's just so many that, it's just all of the moments together just engulfed just makes a great career for all of us.
Mm-hmm. And you've been there for as long as you have, you've seen the full transformation of this program. What's it been like to have the support from the Arkansas fans these last couple of years as you've made these deep runs, and really how big of an impact has that made on y'all?
It means so much to us. We knew that there was softball fans out there in the state of Arkansas. They just needed a winning program to support. So we're glad that we finally are able to, be that winning program and see all these fans come out to grow the sport of softball in the state of Arkansas. And it does. I really do think it makes an impact on us, especially the other teams. This is a tough environment to come play in. It's the softball version of Baum Stadium. You don't want to be a pitcher on the mound at Bogle Park with all of us fans and, the Woo Pig Suey, they're not really used to. So it's great, and the fans definitely give us that home field advantage to put us over the top.
Well, if the softball postseason's anything like baseball, you're not going to be able to hear Taylor Ellsworth's "All My Exes Live in Texas" walk-up music because the NCAA doesn't allow you to do any of that kind of stuff. So it's up to the fans to kind of, to pick up some of that slack. What's it been like to pitch to Taylor this season? Transferring over from Texas, and you've got to work with her. I think almost every game that you've pitched, she's probably been out there catching. And Kayla Green had caught you previously before. What's Taylor been like as a catcher, and what does this series mean? I don't want you to get into her head necessarily, but for the team, you guys all want to be in Oklahoma City. For her, it's like, she wants to be there too, but she wants to get back at her exes too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor's been a difference maker behind the plate. Just being able to have a fifth-year senior behind the plate, just that mature mind, and, being able to have just like an upperclassman. Most of us are upperclassmen, and really with Taylor being behind the plate, it's set the difference. She knows how to calm us down. She's been in every situation you can think of, so she knows how to go about it, and she's clearly a very good softball player to have on our team. But we're doing it for her this weekend, not only ourselves but also for Taylor. I think it's going to be a big weekend for her, and hopefully a full circle moment, and hopefully she picked the right school to go to. So we're excited for this weekend, and it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Now, Mary, hopefully your college career lasts a few more weeks, but as it's winding down, and what's next for you? Is it looking at the possibility of professional softball, trying to make the national team? Well, what's next for you?
I've been asked this question so many times. I think I'm going to hang my cleats up after college softball. I've had an amazing career, and so many memories, relationships I made through softball, but, I'm ready to close this chapter of my life and go on to the next one. We do have some girls going on to play professional softball, and I'm so proud of them. It just, wasn't in my heart to go play professionally, and that's just a choice that I made. I am going to take a year off and really just, find myself outside of softball and find, who is Mary Haff whenever she's not a pitcher on the Razorbacks or, have a ball in her hand. But, it's going to be an interesting year. I'm excited to just settle down and figure out what my passions are and just go from there.
It sounds like you talk, Mary, about trying to find yourself. Has your identity always been wrapped up in softball?
I mean, it's hard for it not to be. With all of us girls, we've been playing softball since we were 10 years old, and that competitive fire it's going to be hard to find something outside of softball that will match that competitiveness of playing college sports. But, we do our best to, find hobbies outside of softball. But, we're all softballers at heart. So, we're going to have to find something after this to, fuel that fire. And some of us are going to play professionally, but some of us are just hanging up the cleats after this year.
Sure, yeah. Talking with Mary Haff here, Arkansas softball. How superstitious are you when it comes to your routine and anything you need to do to feel like you're ready for a game? Are you a superstitious player?
I have been in the past. This year and last year especially, I've been trying to go away from the superstition. I feel like there's enough mind games that goes on with being a pitcher. I don't need any more with superstitions. Obviously, I have my, things here and there. I kind of do my hair the same way every game, but I'm not too superstitious. I try not to be.
So you threw the only perfect game in program history this year against Maryland. That really tests everybody's superstitions because when I've watched baseball pitchers throwing no-hitters, nobody talks to them. They treat him like he's like he's a leper. Stay 10 feet away from the guy. Don't even look at him. What was it like in the dugout when you would come back out of the circle after throwing another complete inning, and you kind of know what it is that's going on?
Yeah, I think everyone was just kind of leaving me alone at that moment. I kind of had a routine of I would just come in, grab a little drink of water and sit on the bench and wait for the next inning. I don't think it wasn't until maybe the last 2 innings that people were like, kind of giving you the side eye, like they don't want to really talk to you because they don't want to say the wrong thing. But, I think I just had a routine going, and I'm just so happy that I was able to accomplish that as a Razorback before my senior year. Just, one of those things that I haven't done yet, and it was just awesome that I was able to accomplish that in my last year.
Yeah, something you hadn't done, man. That's just an incredible achievement.
Incredible.
To throw a perfect game, 21 up, 21 down. Do you remember what it felt like when that last out was recorded?
Yeah, absolute relief. Looking back on the game, especially in that last inning, I think I think the other team knew too, she's throwing a perfect game, and the last two batters, I think, got to 3-2 count, and I was 3-2 on the last batter, and the seventh inning with 2 outs, so it was very nerve-wracking. I've never been so nervous about throwing a strike in my life, but I was lucky that I was able to calm myself down in that moment and just pitch how I know how, and able to come away with that perfect game.
Yeah, well, it's a great achievement. It kind of is I wouldn't call it a capper on a great career, because I hope you have a capper sometime over the next 3 weeks. And let's make that happen.
Partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.